18 years after being eligible for the first time, Iron Maiden are once again nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Do you think Iron Maiden should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Absolutely!
And while this, of course, is a rather joyous occasion, there's still a couple of questions about this nomination. Among the nominees alongside Iron Maiden this year are such artists as Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, The White Stripes, George Michael, and Missy Elliott. Yes, the great rocker Missy Elliott. Despite being eligible since 2005, this is only the second time Iron Maiden are getting nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And if the boys get inducted this year, they will become only the fourth heavy metal band to be represented in that institution. So, in addition to having one more heavy metal band represented in Cleveland, what else will change for us if Iron Maiden get inducted? The answer is absolutely nothing.
Yes, that's true.
Just like with Black Sabbath and Metallica earlier, and with the latest edition of Judas Priest, absolutely nothing will change for us. Because let's be honest here, we've loved those bands for years now, and it absolutely doesn't matter for us whether they get recognized by somebody or not at all. And I think that the sold-out stadium shows all across the world is the best proof for them. Yet at the same time, there are definitely some benefits of another actual rock band being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know how for years we've been crying about how heavy metal doesn't get enough exposure by mainstream? Well, this is pretty much as mainstream as it gets. And while Iron Maiden, just like Judas Priest or Metallica, definitely do not need more exposure among the rock community, this actually might be a gateway to some people who've never been exposed to rock and roll before.
Music! We need music! This is music!
Last year's induction ceremony featuring Judas Priest has been covered by pretty much every major music outlet in the world, thus allowing many young people who've been watching it because of Eminem and other artists to be introduced into this wonderful world of Judas Priest style heavy metal. And you know, I'm not really a gatekeeper for metal, so if this induction can help us save at least some lost souls who've been despite their will dragged into the world of pop music and hip-hop by the media, and for whom Spotify would otherwise never have recommended Iron Maiden on any given day, I'm all for that. But at the same time, there might be another reason why we might root for Iron Maiden to be inducted here. One of the loudest events in the world of heavy metal last year was of course the induction of Judas Priest into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, during which they infamously reunited with their 1970s drummer Les Binks, and of course their founding guitar member K.K. Downing. If we take a look at the list of nominees for Iron Maiden this year, we will see that in addition to the current band members, Bruce Dickinson, Yannick Gers, Steve Harris, Nick McBrain, Dave Murray, and Adrian Smith, there are also the lead drummer Clive Burr, the guitarist Dennis Stratton, and the singer Paul Diano. And here I guess I just have to come straight about how selfish I actually am, because yes, for years I've been dreaming to see one of the earliest Iron Maiden songs being performed on stage by both Bruce Dickinson and Paul Diano.
Life is Iron Maiden!
I'm gonna see everybody on that thing with their hands in the air!
But in all fairness, we have to point out that this is only possible if Bruce Dickinson actually doesn't boycott this ceremony.
Who wouldn't know rock and roll if it hit them in the face? They need to stop taking Prozac and start drinking fucking beer.
And at the same time, it also raises a question of why the flip is Blaze Bayley not on the list.
What?
As both albums with Blaze Bayley on vocals, The X Factor and The Virtual 11, which were released in 1995 and 1998 respectively, are actually eligible for the induction as of this year. And yes, it is true that those albums are actually not considered a pinnacle of the Iron Maiden career, yet this, in fact, is a matter of personal taste and perception, as I, for example, absolutely love The X Factor, and many fans actually believe that if it was not for Blaze Bayley carrying the band throughout the 1990s, Iron Maiden would never actually be able to achieve the heights they did after the reunion with Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith.
Do you believe what you hear? Can you believe what you
While some may compare this to Richie Faulkner not being inducted together with Judas Priest, there was actually a rather logical explanation as why it was so. For the two albums Judas Priest released together with Richie were simply not old enough for him to be inducted. And thus, in my opinion, not including Blaze Bayley on the list is very biased and just simply wrong. Because whether you like those albums or not, they are actually an essential part of the history of one of the greatest heavy metal bands to ever walk the earth. But anyways, other for the above mentioned reasons, I actually absolutely agree with Steve Harris that it doesn't actually matter whether Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica or Motorhead get awarded by some mainstream institution, although it is quite nice to see your band and legacy recognized around the world. And what about you? What do you guys personally think about this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees? And which bands other than Iron Maiden should have long been inducted into this institution? Please let us know in the comments.
Don't forget us. Our name is Motorhead. We play rock and roll.
Also, just letting you know that the Gangland and Total Eclipse rivalry episode for our Up the Iron series is almost ready, so it will be coming in just a couple of days, as well as a very special episode on Judas Priest's Stay in Class. So if you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to this channel to not miss it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for supporting me and Ukraine throughout this very, very difficult time. We will prevail. Slava Ukraini!